What's up guys, welcome to a new video. This video is going to be all about chest training and especially when it is a weak point. During my 7 years of training, my chest was always lagging behind and for a time I really thought that nothing could ever change it. 6 months ago, I decided that I would essentially forget everything that I know, exercise, execution, about chest training, and I'm gonna start it all from scratch. That brings me to now, when I can confidently say that my chest is catching up. Of course, just for you guys, I'm gonna explain everything that I did and I'm gonna explain what my thought process was during those 6 months. For a little bit of context, I think it is one of my duties as a personal trainer to outgrow my weaknesses, to find what makes them a weakness and train accordingly to bring those weak points up. So since we are all starting from scratch, we gotta understand why this muscle is a weak point. And for our case, the chest muscle. No matter your genetics, no matter your level, you can always be better and you can always outgrow your weaknesses. What makes you better in an anatomy standpoint to grow bigger chest, to have a better look? First of all, it's going to be the clavicles. It's a little bone you have here, and the more wider it gets, the more wide your shoulders is going to look and aesthetically more pleasing. It doesn't really affect the way your chest is working, but it's going to affect ultimately the look of it. So if you want to have a really wide chest and you have small clavicles, I'm sorry for you, but no matter how you train it, it's not gonna appear wider. Of course, it doesn't mean that you can't be aesthetically pleasing. There's a lot of really good bodybuilders that have small clavicles and they work the muscle around it to hide those weaknesses. Phil Heath is a really good example. He has small clavicles, but he's a 7-time Mr. Olympia, I think. 7, 8? 7. The second thing is going to be insertions. How your pecs is inserted on your sternum and on your arm. You may have seen some bodybuilders again with a hole in the chest, so the fibers is going on the center but stopping way before the sternum, and this is an example of poor insertion in the pec fibers. Or like myself on the humerus, when I started lifting, I think I tore one of my pecs, and not knowing what it was, I let it heal like himself. That the shape is not the same as my left. Third point is going to be your rib cage and how wide it is. The wider it is, the better, because it's going to make your chest fibers in a better mechanical position when you're doing any pressing movement, basically. Again, even if you have poor genetics, it doesn't mean that you can never grow your chest muscle. And on the contrary, I think chest being your weak point should really forces you to put all your focus on it. Another thing is that no matter your genetics, your body, your brain will always have preferences, because basically your body is a lazy piece of shit. It always finds a way to work less and to be as efficient as possible. So if your shoulders are stronger than your chest, automatically when you're pressing something, your brain will tell your shoulders to take over and do all the work so that you struggle less. When you want to grow your chest, you want the tension to be in your chest. So you have to find a way and change your execution to basically turn off that reflex response and to lock your body in position so that your chest is doing all the work at any given moment on the rep. Talk a little bit about myself. I had strong shoulders compared to the chest, for example. Good triceps. Those muscles really developed when I started breakdancing way before I started gym. So when I started finally the gym, I didn't know really what to do. I had some bench press, but the execution was not there. And because my shoulders and my triceps were already strong, they obviously took over, and my chest was always lacking behind, no matter how hard I trained them. And this is another cue. If you're not feeling your muscle during the set or after the set, or combo breaker, if you don't even have soreness after the session, I think this is a good indication that your chest is basically not working. We always say that you have to control the weight, control the eccentric, but what we do not say and what we should do is trying to press against the weight while you're controlling the eccentric. So you're basically keeping the tension in the chest, doing all the eccentric, and then you go to the concentric again. I'm gonna take the bench press for example. My problem was, first of all, I was focusing too much on retracting the shoulder blades, like we always say, we always seen in videos how to bench press, you gotta retract. But this is not actually the case. It is way better to keep the scapula in the neutral position and try to keep it down. I had always pain in my traps after doing bench press. The other thing is I was keeping my elbow too close to my body. So if you're doing powerlifting, if your goal is to press as much weight as possible and your shoulders is the strong point, so yeah, keep your shoulders close to your body. But if your goal is to build chest size, you will benefit to keep your elbows a little bit wide. Not too wide, not like guillotine press, but a little bit wider so that your chest will stretch while you're making the elbows go down. And bracing the abs. Contract the abs. I'm heading to the gym right now. We're gonna destroy the pecs. I'm currently working on a push-pull leg split. Right now is my first push of the week with an incline bench press with dumbbells. Of course, because I'm trying to bring up the upper chest. It's one thing to bring up your chest, but the upper chest is always a little bit behind the rest of the fibers. So why not destroying them right on the beginning of the session? Before that, I always like to start with some cable flies to warm up the muscle and to a little bit pre-exhaust the chest, which is one thing you should do if you have trouble feeling your chest while doing pressing exercise. Then it's gonna be easier to replicate that feeling on any pressing movement. So maybe try it out. Session. Now we're gonna get back and eat something because I'm pretty hungry. So session was good. I did some cable flies at the end just to finish the pecs, but I didn't record. Talking about cable flies, the mistake that I did when I started was that I fixed too much my shoulder blades. And if you think about the chest anatomy, you can really compare it to the lats. So when you think about a lat pull down, you think the shoulder blades going up and then down. It is moving freely during all the motion, and it is basically the same thing but in reverse doing chest flies. So when you will go to the gym, try to change the execution on any pressing movement and try to train your chest the right way for the first time. You're gonna automatically lower the weight. So leave your ego at the door, lower the weight. It's gonna first of all help you feel the muscle, and essentially if you never train your chest fiber the right way, there's a good chance that it is not going to be as strong as you think. So start with a low weight, try to feel the muscle and take time. When I started 6 months ago, I started back with 20 kilos, which is approximately the weight I lifted when I started, so 7 years ago. Don't be afraid to lower the weight, it's gonna go up really quickly. I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you learned something. I hope this subject was clear enough. If not, make sure to leave a comment if I forgot anything. If you think there's another way to grow your chest, I'm interested to hear, so leave a comment also. Thank you guys to watch the whole video. Leave a thumbs up, comment also, subscribe if you want to see more. There's a lot of video coming, and I see you guys in the next one. Peace.